Right, one last video. A couple of things to show you. Penultimate one is on here on the ruler. This is a new feature as well. Measures circles and you can get radius of different things. So I want to look at central Cambridge. Let's say I want the market square and I want to work out where is 500 meters from the market square. Left click in the middle. I can drag out meters and there's 500. It's a bit over, but there's my 500 meter radius from the centre of the market square. Let's get rid of that, don't want that anymore. Right, last thing that you can do is you can do a tour. And a tour, this button up here, the little video recorder, basically records you using Google Earth Pro. So you could set this up for a student, you could show them what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go. You could zoom in and out of different locations so that they didn't have the control but you did, and save it as a little video. So I click on this one here, and that starts my tour. And then down in the bottom left of your image down here, you've got a record and some microphone options down in there. So I can, let's just say I record this, and I zoom in, and I wander around, and I go over to this bit here, and I've got my outline that I've got on here, and I can show this, and I'm going to stop there and I press finish, and then it will play the loop of what you did. I moved around, I went down here, and I finished off over in this location. Now there's a few things you can do with that, in that what you could do is you could leave some instructions in a certain location. So let's think about how we do that. I'd open up a document like PowerPoint and write something like instructions. I want you to explore this location in the next 5 minutes and find me 3 things of geographical interest. You must stay within the, spelling's going to pop, within the blue lines. Go. So how do I insert this? Well, basically I'm going to want to save this as an image. So I can go File, Save As. I'm going to browse in here. Alright, and when my computer decides it wants to do something, it's not responding, that's helpful. And then I'm going to stick it into, I will stick it into my documents, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG, and I'm just going to call it, for the purposes of this, instructions. It'll ask me whether I want to do all slides or just this one. I just want this one slide with the instructions, so I'll stick that on there. There's no reason why I couldn't have had photos or something else on there. Back into Google Maps over here. I'm going to get rid of my old tour because I don't think it was good enough. And I'm going to insert my image, which is my image overlay from before. This time I want to insert what I call documents instructions. Here are my instructions. They're absolutely mahoosive at the moment, so I'm going to make them much smaller. I'm going to put them down over here somewhere, and just put these, I've called them instructions, and I said in my instructions I wanted students to stay within the blue line, so there's no reason why I couldn't add a polygon. So I want to call this polygon blue lines, and I want them to stay within, here's an area that I'm making up, finish on there. Just change what I want. I said I wanted a blue line. Blue line. Let's make this nice and large so that everyone can spot it. And there's my instructions. And I could maybe label these up. Geography example. Let's add a folder. Let's call this starter. And I put the instructions into starter, and I put the blue lines into starter. And I've not put those in geography example. Let's put them in there. In fact, let's put them just in Chem so far. So I've got a whole folder that's just my starter. I've got a folder of all the other things. I can turn off all the other stuff and just have the starter on the map. And when I finish with the starter, knock the starter off. That'll take the instructions and the line away, and then I could use the other things that I want later on in the lesson. So the big thing to remember is when you're finished with something, you want to save it. Remember to save it afterwards. I'm going to save this one in here. It already exists, so yes, I'm just overwriting it, which means that, let's just ditch it for a second, delete it. When I reopen it afterwards, open up my geography example, I've got everything in the same folder structure that I looked at before. There's all my things that I did earlier, map, take off my map, there's school, the office, my route to school. Up the top is all my bits that I had for my little starter activity up at the beginning. And if I want to, if I only want to put bits of those on, just click the left bit, opens up the folder, and I could just have that blue line back on, or just have the instructions back on, or whatever I wanted to do. And that is a wrap.